My name is Gustavo Rubacha, and I beat the often path by a heart attack that I had at 37 years old. And I changed my mind to try to help other people to be safe and have the same options I had at this moment.
Welcome back to the Beat the Often Path podcast. I'm your host, Ross Palmer. On the show, we showcase unusual success stories to help us think outside the box in our lives and careers. Now, I created the show, in case you didn't know, because I was tired of people just complaining on social media. There were very few solutions or people attempting to solve the myriad problems that are facing us in our life. So I seek out people who are actually trying to solve the things that are going on around them, and today I've got a guest who did just that. Joining me today is Gustavo Rubacha from Argentina. Now, be advised that English is not his native language, so be patient. But the most important part about this man's story is how a single event, a heart attack at the age of 37, completely changed his priorities and led him to focusing on helping senior citizens and people who are in a similar situation as himself never be stranded in case disaster or emergency strikes. It's a profoundly interesting story. I really love the way that he channeled all of his energy into something good, and he recognized that he had many different skills, and he was able to put those skills to use on something that will benefit a lot of people. It's a deeply inspiring story about priorities and about what really matters in life at the end of it. So I'm very excited for you to meet Gustavo Rubacha, the creator of LutiBand, a life-saving smartwatch for seniors. Well, welcome to the show, Gustavo. First of all, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for being here today.
Oh, thank you.
You had your big idea when you were 37 years old. What did you do before then? What did you do in your career before you had this change in your life?
I started doing software for retail stores at 17 years old. And I continued with this company until I think 27 years old. And then I started doing some software development for e-learning. And when I had this problem at 37 years old, I started thinking, okay, I have the tools to help other people doing what I do. Using technology and software to help other people. Why I can't do that to help others to don't have the same problem as I had, and also to prevent and give them tools for them in case an emergency, have something that helps them get the best care as possible.
Absolutely. So obviously, when you had a heart attack at the age of 37, that was unexpected, right? There were no warning signs. You had no idea that was coming.
No, absolutely nothing.
Do you know why, looking back, or is it a random chance?
For my understanding, was related to stress. At this moment, I live in Argentina. I am from Argentina. And probably the things happens in our countries are part of this, that we live on stress all the time because all the changes happens all the times in these countries.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that the stress was more related to the environment around you, or to your work, or to your career?
No, I think for the environment, probably, yes.
Okay. So what kind of changes, what sort of things were causing you stress leading up to it?
I don't know if you know the story of Argentina, but
many ups and downs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. The economy, it's really complicated. Yep. The politics also, and it's really difficult. And that's one of the reasons I decided to move here to the U.S.
Mm-hmm. Where do you live now?
In Florida, in Clearwater, Florida.
Oh, Clearwater. We had another guest from Clearwater. My grandma used to live in Clearwater, Florida. Beautiful area. I love it over there. Beautiful. Very nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So I have to ask, do you know the Frenchie's Rockaway Grill? Have you ever been there on the beach?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes. All right. The other guy didn't know it. We've got one.
Yeah,
I used to
yes.
go there as a kid. When I was a small child, I'd be there
Yeah, I like it.
since
Yes.
I was very, very young, and it was very different than it is today. So you had a wake up call, a physical wake up call. You're doing what a lot of people are doing. You're going to a normal job for much of your working life. You're
Correct.
developing some skills, but you're using those skills to help other people or to build something for somebody else, for a company. And then one day, you're forced to reevaluate all of your life's priorities. You're
Absolutely, yes.
forced to say, wow, this is something really big and really unexpected. Why is it that when people are confronted with a major or life-threatening moment that it brings certain things into clarity, do you think?
I think because you are in the breaking point that you start to evaluate what is important in life other than the things you normally do, and you don't pay attention.
Yeah. How did you reevaluate your relationship with stress afterwards? Did you make some changes
I
to
try, I
Okay.
try, but it's not easy because
No.
again, it's the environment also that affects you.
Yeah. And it's been very tough lately, very tough couple of years. Also here in the United States, it's tough. There's war in Ukraine, there's war around the world, there's famine coming,
Yes,
stock market is down. There's a lot of stress right now. Rent's up,
absolutely,
mortgages up.
yes.
It is a difficult time, and they believe that it's only going to get more difficult. So there is stress all
Yeah.
around. Do
Yes,
you
absolutely. But I try to take the things on another way to don't affect me as affected me in the past.
Yeah. So when you had the decision to do something with your skills, which I think is fantastic, you say, I've got these skills I've been building over my career. I can do something meaningful. I can help people. Where did you begin? What was the first step that you took to do something along those lines?
When I start thinking about helping other people, the first thing I did was a medical ID device that includes some technology inside, and we start using NFC to allow first responders or a doctor to access the medical information of the user in case of an emergency. And that's the first thing I did in regards to this. And then we start adding another things, another technologies to new products, and this is what guide me to be on this new product that I think it's a really good solution for people with pre-existing conditions, and mainly for seniors, helping them to be active, independent, and safe.
And so to be clear, there are two products now. There's LutiKey and LutiBand, right? Or is there more?
No, we start with the previous one that was Endless ID. That's the medical ID device, and then we add more technology, and we created LutiKey, that it's a Bluetooth tracker, but also including a medical ID inside. And now we are just launched a new product. It's LutiBand, that it's a smartwatch oriented for seniors and people with pre-existing conditions. That on each product we add more technology to allow the user to be more independent from from a phone that most of the smartwatch require a phone to be connected to enable to work. This is the last product I created, and we are focusing on this product right now.
Okay. So if you came from software, the idea of creating a smartwatch seems very challenging. How
Yeah.
did you begin to build something that complicated?
yeah, it was, to be honest, was really complicated because I don't have expertise on doing hardware. But I was working like a year and a half with different factories to find the best solution we can do. And to be honest, I start creating the idea. I created the design of the smartwatch and try to add all the technology I had available to do the best product I can. But it was really challenging for me.
So you go to manufacturers and they make the product and you're making the software yourself, or you're leading
No,
that
I had
side?
a team of
Team?
developers. Yes.
Okay. And
Yeah.
did you have to build that team of developers, or were they people that you knew from your previous work?
Yes, there are people. Most of them are people who are working with me from a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a huge advantage, even if you're working in a job, of the connections that you have developed.
Yes, and also I have people that worked for me from Argentina, and they still are working with me.
Okay. So when this happened, did you just instantly quit your job, or did you decide to slowly transition to this? How long did it take before you were full time on this project?
Uh, on this new product, what's the transition from the previous version, the LutiKey, to this one, and we continue selling this product, and now we are full focusing on this new product because we really think that can change the life of a lot of people.
Yeah. And for you personally, did you quit your job right after you had the heart attack, or did you transition to building your own company? How did that work?
No, at this moment I was working. I always work on my own company
Okay.
from 17 years old.
Mm.
So was part of my transition on my own path to change the focus on what I want to do.
Yeah. So do you recommend that for a lot of people? Because I think it's no secret that many people are stuck in a job that they hate, that they either don't like or they actively hate their job. Do you recommend the idea of having and keeping a job over here and continuing to build your own thing on the side? Is that something that you think would benefit people?
I I think for me, I think it's really important for anyone to do what they really love to do. But I know the reality of many people that don't have any choice. So if they can do do their own path, doing what they love, in the meantime they have another job, I think it's a good idea, but it's really challenging.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy to create your own company. It's not easy to grow the company and live with what we really love to do.
Yeah.
But I think the best thing for any people will be to work with on something they really love to do, because it's not a job.
True. So before you had this moment that changed everything, what
Mhm.
kind of things were you building with your company before?
Mainly, we did software development for retail stores, and then I started doing e-learning programs for companies.
Interesting. Yeah, I've worked with some e-learning myself. Some of my clients, I do e-learning as well. So you worked
Uh-huh.
with different LMSs and you helped build out curriculum, or
Yes, what we did was developing programs for companies for internal training. Mostly the content was from them, and we translate all this content to be online and to do quiz and exams and all this stuff. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm curious to talk a little bit about LutiBand itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the main problems that you hinted at is if a smartwatch needs a phone to operate, why is that an issue?
Because in case of an emergency, mainly because we are focusing on seniors or people with pre-existing conditions, in an event on emergency, maybe you don't have the phone with you to initiate a call or initiate an alert that you need help. And this is for us, was the main challenge, how we can have a product that will be independent from any other device to be near or connected to this. And this is the main reason we try to do a smartwatch that have data connection and calling in the watch itself, to don't require to be near or connected to a phone.
Yeah. So what kind of information is important? So let's say that I am a bit older and I fall or something bad happens to me. What does this watch, what does it need to be able to do to save somebody's life?
Okay, on our product, when the user have any type of emergency, they can press and hold the smartwatch button, and we will connect the user directly with the emergency services. And we have an integration with them to be able to send to the 911 the actual location of the person is having an emergency. Also, we are measuring blood pressure, oxygen in blood, heart rate, and body temperature. And we share this information at the moment of the emergency with the 911. And also, we are sharing with them all the medical information of the user, like pre-existing conditions, allergy, medications they are taking. And all this information will help the emergency services to take care of the user the best way as possible.
Mm-hmm. When did you launch this new product?
1 month ago.
1 month ago.
We are just launching the product.
Has the feedback been positive? Have you heard any good stories from people?
Yes, to be honest, there are many people that are really thanks for the product, because the main problem, one of the things, one of the reasons I want to develop a product like this is because all the products are on the market. There are like old products. I don't know why, but most of the products don't have biometrics information. Most of the products are not connecting the user directly to the 911. Most of the products don't have any integration with the 911. So if you call the 911, they don't know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the main thing. I really think that will help a lot of people, because it's something really, really important, and other companies are not taking these important things to their products.
Yeah. Now, when you are doing something like this, you're entering territory of some very big companies, obviously, like Apple and Samsung and all of that. How does it feel to make a product that, in some sense, could be a competitor with some of the biggest companies on Earth?
I don't think we are competing with them, because mainly the main focus for them, it's not people like seniors. I think our main competitors are other ones. There are big companies, not like Apple, but there are other companies that develop products for seniors. But to be honest, I are really basic products.
Yeah.
I don't think we are competing with Apple or Samsung or these type of companies.
Okay.
But again, I always say there are markets for anyone.
Mm.
The market is really big.
Yeah. So do you think that this is the kind of stuff you will be working on for the rest of your career, products for seniors and health related products in general?
I hope so. Yes.
Nice.
I now I am working with the next generation of this product
Mm.
because I think always have room to improvement, and the technology it's growing, and I think there are things to improve on the product, and we are working on the next version, and we just launched the first one.
Wow. Very exciting.
Yeah.
So describe the feeling of working on something that has a mission that is greater than yourself. How does it change the way you feel when you have a hard day or when you go to work in the morning? Does it change your attitude?
To be honest, I really like what I do. It's not challenging for me to wake up and start working. I work from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. all days.
Wow, okay.
And I really like what I do. And I really like trying to help others. But it's not hard for me, but it's challenging to bring a new product to the market. It's not easy.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to do it.
Very nice. So what then does a typical day look like for you? What are you doing in all of those hours from 8 until 11?
Depends on the stage of each project, but normally I start the day speaking with suppliers, and I end the day also speaking with suppliers because of the difference on times. But during the day, I try to speak with customers. I like to speak with customers to know what they feel, what they think the product have to be improved, and what they needs they have that we can solve. And obviously also working with the developers, and I try to have a few hours a day to think about new products, new solutions. This helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm. Now, for people who want to start something, for somebody who maybe just had a change in their own life and they want to help people, what advice would you have to somebody who wants to build a product or a complicated product, especially if they have no experience?
If they have no experience, they have to do a lot of research. They have to try to speak with different companies, have different inputs from completely different people, and try to get the more information as possible to make decisions. It's not easy to do a new product. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of money too, but you have to test really good the product. You have to test all the stages of the development. It's not easy, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah. And you were saying, do you think it requires a lot of money to bring a new product? Do people have to have money in order to build a product business, or should they get investors?
Depends on the product. Some products don't require too much because our products that don't require a lot of technology. But if you are talking about a smartwatch, requires a big investment. Sometimes if you have a good idea, there are investors open to invest on really good products, on really good ideas. It's not easy, but if you are really committed to what you want to do, it's possible.
That's so cool. So do you think that, moving to the United States, changing your physical environment, also changing the focus of your work, did these things help you feel differently than before? Do you feel better now? Do you feel happier now?
Absolutely, yes. I feel more stable than when I was in Argentina. Yes, absolutely. And I think was part of the change I had to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it easy or very difficult to come to the U.S.?
It's not easy. Was not easy.
No, it's
no,
not.
Because it's a completely different country.
Yeah.
And also I had to start from zero here.
Yep.
And again, it's not easy.
I know. I've done it as well. And my wife has done it. My wife is half Costa Rican and half European. And we know the struggle. It is not easy.
Yeah. It's not easy, but it's possible.
But it's possible. Yeah, if you really want it. I agree. Yeah. I think it is possible. If you really, really care to do it, you can do it. But it's going to take some work. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were some of the things that didn't work?
For example, when I started, I developed a lot of software and invested a lot of time developing product that the people was not prepared for that. When I start doing software for retail stores, I am talking about more than 35 years ago. In Argentina, the retailers didn't have computers, and I was selling software for people that didn't have computers.
Wow!
So the main challenge for me at this moment was, okay, what can I do to solve this problem? And at this point, I partnered with IBM in Argentina to provide a solution together to retail stores. And this is the way I solved the problem, but I was dealing with this problem for 2 or 3 years, trying to find a way, because I really believe that was a good solution for them. So I have to find a way to solve the problem.
So how do you know if you should keep going on something that's not working out, or if you should quit and go on to something else?
It's hard to tell, because there are moments that you think or you feel that the solution or product you are trying to do have to work, but maybe you don't see what's the reason it's not working. And the main thing is try to find the reason and solve it, because maybe it's not your idea what is not working. Maybe it's the way you are developing the idea to solve the problem. Maybe you have to change some things, but I think the most important thing is to get feedback from your potential users or customers. I think it's the best way.
That makes sense. So when you came up with the idea for LutiBand, did you know at that time that you wanted only to be mainly for seniors, or did that come later? Was that the first thought that you had? Because you were relatively young, obviously, when you had your heart attack.
Yes. To be honest, the main reason to decide to focus on seniors was because I researched about what's the product on the market for seniors and what can we do best to help them. Because again, I think most of the products on the market for seniors are products from another century.
Wow.
I can't believe that they are still selling a button hanging on the neck.
Right. I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, I can't believe that they still selling that. And to be honest, if you speak with the seniors, they don't want to use that. Most of them they use them because they have to, or maybe because their family members want them to use it. But for sure, they are not happy to go around with a button hanging on the neck.
Yeah. Yeah. My grandma had one of those for a while.
Yeah.
They're not
And
happy.
she's happy about that?
No, she was not happy about that. She didn't want that at all.
Yeah, I imagine.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope. And now they have a smartwatch. Yeah, it's much, much better, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love the story. So how do you think we hear this story so often of a big, big, big life event, a near-death experience?
Mm-hmm.
How can people make changes to their life without needing a near-death experience?
To be honest, I don't know. The thing is, I think the main thing it's not easy, but the main thing is try to be calm and try to don't stress too much. There are things that you can change, but there are other things you can change them. So try to make your life the easy way as possible, and try to do whatever you really like to do. And this helps a lot, because when you are not happy, this type of things can happen because you are not happy doing what you are doing, and you are doing it all day, all days.
True. Okay. Well, it's some very wise advice. Yes, I think a lot of people could do well to think about that. Stress is one of those things that we don't talk about very often.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, we glorify working more and more and more, working long hours, struggling harder. And for many of us, unfortunately, we need to in this country. We need to work harder. We don't want to, but we don't have a choice. Like you said, a lot of people don't have a choice.
Yes.
And that is hard. It's hard for people who are just getting by to think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's hard, but at some point we have to do a change, because we can't live like this forever. No. We have to do something about that.
Do you do meditation, yoga, mindfulness? No. None of that.
No,
none of that.
No.
Cold showers?
No, I don't. Again, I like what I do. For me, it's not a shock. For me, I really like wake up in the morning and start working. I really like it because I do what I love to do.
Well, that's great. That's the dream, and that's why you're here. You're here to inspire other people to do what they love to do. What is there something that you believe that is unusual that nobody else believes, or is there a piece of advice that has always worked for you that other people might not think about?
I think when you are doing something, part of this have to be to help others. I think this is for me, it's an important thing. You always have to think that what you do help other people, because I think it's part of any type of business. At some point, have to solve a problem and help others. This is the way I think about that.
Yeah. Well, I like that. I think it's a great philosophy. And that seems to be a common theme, that your life changes and your relationship with work changes when you have a mission that is bigger than yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
We've heard it time and again on this show, over and over and over again. So it must be true.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Well, as we kind of round out the interview, first of all, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate sitting down with you. Do you have any final parting words or advice for people who want to start something new? I mean, you've covered a lot of ground, but I want to give you a last word to get something in, if you like.
I think if you want to do something, do it. Try to do whatever you like to do, and try it. I think worth it. And will help you be happier.
Great. Sounds good. And where can people support your projects, and where can they find more information about the companies you've built?
They can access our website, it's LutiBand.com, and they will be able to see what we can do for them.
And that is LutiBand.com. LutiBand.com. So if you're out there and you know a senior, or you know somebody who could use a little extra assistance, might be a good gift, birthday gift, holiday gift, you never know. Could be good to help anybody who's wearing a button around their neck and wants something a little more functional and a little more stylish.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, I agree.
All right, fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Gustavo, for taking the time. I really appreciate you sitting down with me.
Thank you.
And with that, the official podcast is over.